On the front page of this week's Business Courier, is GE Aviation being forced to shift gears? A Brazilian aircraft maker called Embraer surprised a lot of aviation insiders last month when it chose Pratt & Whitney over Evendale-based GE aircraft engines to power a new generation of its regional E-jets. GE engines power all of the current E-jets, which are still in production until 2018. One aviation trade publication described Embraer's decision as a big blow to GE. A GE spokesman says highly disappointed may be a better way to describe the decision. Either way, GE's fortunes matter for those of us here in the tri-state in a big way. Its research and development and manufacturing activities ripple through the regional economy and directly responsible for thousands of high-paying jobs and supplier contracts. Business Courier reporter John Newberry wrote this GE story in our print edition. John joins our editor, Rob Dahlmeyer, with more.
Thanks, Brian. John, thanks for being here. Your idea for this story was really when you were looking at this fairly small contract, I guess, that Pratt & Whitney got for this jet that Brian just talked about. Why did you think, or why do you think this is a bigger deal, or the people you talked to thought it was a bigger deal?
Well, I think it's a big deal because of what it might portend for the future. Both GE and Pratt & Whitney, the same two companies, are developing much larger engines for these single-aisle airplanes like the Boeing 737 and an Airbus A320 plane that are really that's what drives profits of GE and Pratt & Whitney. I mean, it's the workhorse of the commercial aviation industry. Those engines will be coming along in a couple more years. They're going to be battling head-to-head for those orders on the Airbus plane, and that's really kind of what this just sets up, that battle.
And GE wasn't necessarily expecting this, but I think they told you that they feel like they're plenty busy as
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
well, I think that played a big part in GE's losing this contract. It may not have been all just so much the technical stuff on the engine. There's a lot of financial considerations that go into it, and like GE spokesman told me, he says, we made them an offer that we thought was good for our shareholders, but we can't win everything. We've got a lot of things, you know, they've got a lot of things on their plate. They've got 5 new engines they're developing now. So,
last question, how many employees does GE Aviation even have in Cincinnati? I mean, we make a big deal out of it at the Business Courier, but a lot of people don't necessarily drive by their facility and maybe don't know.
7,500 employees, roughly. That's been going up in recent years. They've been hiring tons of engineers, high-paying jobs. They work with UC on lots of co-op things. Plus, and more than that, it's all the suppliers and things like that that just affect much more than those 7,500 people.
I'm sure we'll be keeping a close eye on this. Thanks very much for being here, John.
Sure.